folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Yes, the Echo. I am currently today working inside of a new structure here on the property. We are expanding, creating more living space and also potentially space for others. I will, at some point in the future, do a video on what's going on. But for today, I really just wanted to talk about the craziness that's going on in our world. And I know how it seems as though it's all bad news. And it's every day the sky is falling, and every day you better get ready because it's all doom and gloom. And while there's certainly truth to that, and certainly things that we need to be aware of and to be ready for, we also need to do our best to stay positive and have a positive outlook. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. Before I get started, I wanted to tell you about some gloves that I bought. I know, you're probably like, gloves? Who cares? I'm one of those kind of guys that I don't wear gloves. I know that there's some that just wear gloves all the time, and they're wearing rubber gloves and leather gloves, and everything they do, they got to put a pair of gloves on. Me, I don't. My hands are always cut up and bruised and scarred because I just never wear gloves. But in the wintertime, my hands get cold, and I do occasionally like to have a pair of gloves, and I picked these up, and I've actually been really impressed with them because I'm really picky, and I don't generally don't like gloves, right? So I picked these up, and they're different. They're not leather. Usually I wear leather ones. These are Wells Lamont cold weather gloves. I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested in them, but you can also pick them up at most of your like farm supply stores and stuff. But they're a latex coating. They're knit and lined on the inside, so they're nice and warm. And they have this latex coating here, and they have a lot of grip to them, and I like that. And I like that they fit real tight and snug, kind of like a surgical glove. They're not terribly bulky, so I can pick things up and use my hands pretty well. And they keep my hands cold. They're water resistant, and like I said, they have a lot of good grip to them all over. And I really like them. I didn't think I would, but I was, and I've got all kinds of gloves around here that I never wear, mostly because I don't like how they fit and how they feel. But I thought I would try these, and I really do like them. So I'm just sharing that information with you, and you don't have to use the link that I'll provide. But if you can't find them at your local farm store and you're looking for something like this, I will provide a link that you can get them through Amazon. Anyways, I just thought I'd mention that because, again, I don't like gloves, but I kind of like these. So, doom and gloom into the world as we know it. Everything's bad, and we got to prepare constantly, right? Well, we do. There's a lot of craziness going on, and I believe the vast majority of it is very well orchestrated. I believe that it's all being done intentionally. I made a video today over on the Patreon page, if you want to go over and watch it, talking about basically my opinion of what's going on, of the warring factions and everything, way deeper than just the election and the virus and the all that kind of stuff. But but beyond all that, when it comes to like global elites and the men that rule the world, what I kind of think is going on. And there's a lot of things happening. You can't just look at all the stuff that's gone on this year and just all the weird news stuff. Have you guys noticed that? Have you noticed the little news articles? I saw one today. Of course, it was about Joe Biden breaking his leg or his ankle or foot or whatever it was. And the news headline was something like Joe Biden slips getting out of the shower while grabbing his dog's tail or something like that. And it's basically how he broke his foot while he was getting out of the shower and the floor was wet and he stepped on or he grabbed his, it was just weird. Or the one the day before of the three previous presidents, Obama, Clinton, and George W., all lined up and said that they will get the vaccine on TV together to prove that it's safe for you. I mean, it's like you couldn't make a B-roll movie that would be better than this. I mean, it's extremely strange and dystopian. And all the stuff that's happening, it's well beyond just being a coincidence, right? I mean, how can all the stuff that's happening and everything line up? You know, health crisis, oh, it's a good time for, the Great Reset. Oh, it's a good time to manipulate the election. On and on and on, and we're, just there every once in a while they throw weird stuff at us, like, yesterday I saw that the Pentagon leaked a photo of a, potential UFO, alien UFO, and that there's documents that was leaked with it that indicate that they believe that aliens are living under the ocean monitoring us, just craziness, right? Stuff that just years ago only existed in the crazy conspiracy theory realms or sci-fi or whatever. We're now seeing in the mainstream news. We're seeing this stuff talked about, just like civil war and martial law. These are two terms that in the past only kind of like the extremists, conspiracy theorists, stuff like that only use those terms. But we're hearing mainstream news talking about this. We're hearing politicians use those words. We're hearing, the average person on the street are talking about civil war and martial law and all this kind of stuff. These are becoming commonly used terms, whereas before, if you said, even if you just said, could be martial law, man, these are crazy. This dude's nuts. He's talking about martial law. What is martial law? We don't even know what martial law is. Same thing with civil war. So, do we, become so enveloped and engulfed in all this that we become paranoid, that we become so fearful that it's paralyzing us? Or do we take the exact opposite, the other end of the spectrum approach, and just say, who cares? There's nothing we can do. Just kind of ignore it, or that it's all just too much. I would say neither, because I do believe part. This doesn't explain everything, but I believe that part of all this is to just throw so much stuff at us. I've said that before. I believe that their attempt to just throw as much as they can at us, to overwhelm us so that we don't notice the big things, or that we become so overburdened by all this emotional ups and downs. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask, getting better, not getting better, lockdown, open back up, reopen, lockdown, just on and on and on, that we tend to kind of just shut down and give up, or we ignore the stuff, or we miss the important things. I think that there's a lot of that going on. And again, that may not explain everything. But what we do need to do is, number one, always remember, at least for those of us that follow the good book, that we know how this story ends. There may be a lot of ups and downs and bumps in the road between now and then, but I serve a creator, a Father in heaven that knows what's going on. And he already knows how it's going to end. And so that's hope. There's also hope that humans are very resilient. We've gone through all sorts of tragedy all throughout history. And we've survived, and we've prevailed, and we've advanced, and we've grown and expanded and become more intelligent, and on and on. So with all the things that's going on, it doesn't mean it's like the end for us. And as far as them winning when it comes to, taking over and us just becoming, slaves even more so than we already are, sure, it's potentially, possible. There's no, doubt that that could happen. But again, humans have gone through that kind of stuff, and they've experienced tyranny, and they fought against it many times, and have lost many battles, but have also won a lot of wars. In a physical and a psychological and all that. So while the things that are happening, a lot of it is real, and even the stuff that's not, there's definitely a realness to the psyops. There's a realness to the manipulation and the distraction. But it's not something that we should become so overwhelmed with and so, paranoid and basically petrified because of fear and of loss of hope. And even though I may get on here several times a week and I talk about, this new thing that's happening, this is why you need to be prepared. This is happening. Oh, look at the markets. It's about to collapse. Oh, look at the housing market. Oh, look at the unemployment. Look at this. Look at that. More lockdowns, civil war, martial law. That, when I do that, it's not to terrify anyone. It's to inform and educate you, to make you aware, so that you can be more informed and more prepared for what's going on. But never do I want to terrify anyone. And in fact, what I want to do, what I hoped to do, is to encourage and empower you, to give you strength, knowing that while things are really bad, it doesn't mean it's all over. It doesn't mean that it's the end. That we can survive individually. We can prepare our minds, prepare our families, prepare our hearts, and we can get through a lot in that way. And we can also prevail, not just prepare, but we can prevail against corruption, against tyranny, against darkness, against evil. We as a people, whether it's Americans or just humans, have done that many times already. So I have no doubt that we can do it again. The thing that sets us back right now is just getting enough people together on board, on the same page. But that's happening. That is happening. I think the people in power, one of the reasons why they're pushing so hard with their agenda right now is because they know that more and more people are becoming aware, and they have less and less time to enact their global domination plans, because there's a whole lot more of us than there are them. Once enough of us realize that no matter how rich they are, no matter how much technology they have, no matter how many militaries and armies that they control, they still only represent a fraction, a tiny fraction of humanity. And they need to know that. We need to remind them of that. They need to work for us, to do for us, to listen to us, because there's a lot more of the common man than there is these ultra elite, whatever they are, okay? So again, I never want to terrify anyone. I hope that it encourages you, that it educates you, that you see that there are enough people, it's a simple thing of me making a video and you scrolling through the comments and you realize, wow, there's several hundred people here that think like I do. There's other people out there that are willing to stand up just like I am. And so because of all these things, we shouldn't lose hope. We shouldn't give up. We shouldn't become so overwhelmed. We may have moments. We all do that. But to the point that we fall into despair and we find ourselves giving up. Yes, things are bad. I'm not going to candy coat it. I don't want to overhype things, but I'm also not going to candy coat it. Things are bad. The stuff that's going on, a lot of it I think is real. Some of it, it's just to mess with our heads. But either way, things are bad, but it doesn't mean that things are over. So wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, know that that we can still win this. There's still enough of us. We're still in the game. So don't give up. And also, you know, when you think, man, it's too much. It's every day we're watching these videos and it's crazy, and it seems like it's this big hype about, you know, fear. Well, maybe it's take a break. That's okay too. Take a break and watch the video. You can catch back up or watch it next time. It's fine with me. Your mental health is more important than my views on YouTube. But in the end, I know how it's all going to end, and I'm okay with it. We may have a lot of battles to fight between now and then, but I know that we will win. Maybe not in my lifetime, but good will win. Righteousness will win, and that is what I am assured of. So don't get down and discouraged too much, because there's a lot out there, and it would be very easy to. Keep fighting. Never give up. Never surrender. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.